Hey everyone, Randy here. I write under the pen name Miranda K. Darq, and this is going to be a half-price books haul. And it's super late, it's like 11:40 at night, but I went to the trouble of doing my hair today. Can we just take a minute to appreciate how good it looks right now? And I have makeup on and I look like a human being that might actually have my life together because I'm wearing this really cool cable knit black sweater, even if it was cheap and I didn't make it myself, but someday I will. I went to Half Price Books the other day under the foolish assumption that I was just going to pick up a few things for my kids for Christmas. I actually did pretty well for myself because my fail-safe was to make sure everything had to fit in one bag. We don't have disposable bags available in stores in Washington. You have to bring your own. And to make sure all the books fit into one bag, I will pop up a picture of what it actually looked like fitting all of these books into one bag. But I have found lately that I'm having trouble finding newer young adult novels with male protagonists. I have two sons. They have no problem reading books that have a female lead. We've read plenty of them, including A Wrinkle in Time and a whole bunch of other things. The book Pennsylvania, which was actually really cute and had two female leads, not just one, but two. It was a girl and her sister. I have been on the hunt for exciting, engaging, young adult novels featuring male protagonists. We have one series that we've been reading that is called Darq, which is really fun and written, I believe the author is Irish. So there's a lot of UK Englishy things in there. But the boys really, really like it. We actually got the first two from a decommissioned library sale when they were itty bitty tiny when we still lived on Fort Lewis. When I was still married, so it's been a while. Joke's on them. I actually went and found books 3 and 4 and ordered those. Those should be here in a few days, but with it being so close to the holiday, who knows how shipping stuff is going to go. Fingers crossed they get here in time. If not, I got enough other stuff that maybe I can just give books 3 and 4 to Hunter for his birthday in January. We'll see. It'll all work out, no matter what. So, another book series that we started reading with male protagonist was the Artemis Fowl series. My older son really liked that. So, one of the things that I got is this boxed set, Whoa Glare, which has I don't know if this is the entire set or if it's just the first 6. I'm honestly not sure. But we read the first one and the boys really liked it. So I got the one with the fancy all matching covers. So now we can take the one that we got from, I think it was in one of the boxes I got from Book Bundler forever ago. Book Bundler is all like previously used books. You can get big chunks of lots and lots of books for really cheap, but you don't always get to choose what you get. So you might get some really good ones and you might get some stinkers, but you can always give the rest away, donate them to a library, whatever. And another one that we got that I bought the first book of a while ago, and Hunter didn't really take to it reading it on his own, but I found that thanks to the accelerated reader program in school, Hunter, my older son, doesn't take to very many books on his own now because they're not worth points if they don't have a quiz logged into the accelerated reader system. I have a lot of things to say about that, and I'm not going to talk about that right now because if I do, we will be going on for hours about how awful it is. So moving on. Got the first book of the Gregor the Underland Chronicles by Suzanne Collins. I read a big chunk of the first one on my own and I really liked it. And if they don't like it, I'm totally cool with reading YA. I believe this is the whole series, which is pretty cool. Other things that I got a little box of cards for when I finish my book and send out book boxes and signed things. So blank little thank you cards with book covers on them. So a lot of these I actually picked up off of the clearance shelf in our half-price bookstore because they have a lot of really good things there. How can you say no to that? This was one of the ones that I got off the clearance bookshelf when I already had a stack of stuff I was juggling to carry and wondering how in the hell I was going to fit it in my single bag. This is Bullfinch's Mythology. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in here. So excited. Just stuff from all over the place. This is something that is not for the kids, by the way. Most of these other things, all of these other things, were bought primarily with me in mind, not them. So, there's one. Like I said, I had good intentions. Let the Right One In, which I have been wanting to read for a long time. I really, really liked the movie, so I think that this will be awesome. And this and Bullfinch's Mythology were $4, I think. Heck of a lot cheaper than the regular price of $20 on this and regular price of $13 on this. I also grabbed Dr. Sleep by Stephen King because I really liked this movie and wanted to read the book, because sometimes movie adaptations of his work are good and sometimes they are not good, and I know that his writing style is not for everybody, but I've started reading him when I was 12 and I have always enjoyed it. So sometimes he gets a little bit wordy and a little bit rambly, but you know, it happens to the best of us sometimes. Cats. I have 2 cats, if you didn't know. This was also $4 on clearance, by the way. And then, which everybody on Twitter already gave me crap for, I got Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I actually used to have this book before my kids were born and read it before I watched the movie. The movie was good, but I actually enjoyed the book. And this is one of those ones that I read it and it was entertaining, but then I just went and sold it to our local used bookstore at the time and got something else because it was fun to read, but I didn't think I would be rereading it multiple times. And it's been a hot minute since I read it, so we'll give it a go again. And look, I even have a bookshelf behind me. I'm being a better book author-tuber person with an appropriate-ish backdrop, also featuring weighted hula hoop and massage chair. Got another book. This one I thought I would probably... Well, this was definitely... Having this on the young adult shelf was not where this book belonged, apparently, just from flipping through it and seeing quite a few swears, but that's okay. That's okay. So this book is called Savage Legion, and it's book 1 of the Savage Rebellion trilogy by Matt Wallace. I thought it looked cool, and this was on a clearance cart for like $3. But just from flipping through it a little bit just now, I would say it's definitely not YA, which is fine. I will have to read through this before letting them touch this. Although, to be fair, we have been reading the Redwall / Mossflower series by Brian Jakes since they were quite young, and that's got some gruesome stuff in it. The war and the death scenes and the bloated bodies from getting munched on by a poisonous adder are kinda... Yeah. This was definitely for me. So my parents had the hardcover version of this when I was a kid, And I cannot tell you the amount of hours I spent flipping through this book because of some of the illustrations in it. I learned all sorts of things about animals over near where I lived and plants, and more than a few of the sketches that I did when I was learning how to draw. And honestly, still my drawing isn't that good, but back in the day when I was a kid and they encouraged you to do those sorts of things before saying, don't waste your time drawing, which my parents never did, but society at large does. The hardcover version of this book was it. Definitely worth it. I think this was, the tag on it said $8. The regular price on it says $20, and I think that it was like another $2 or $3 off from the receipt, if I'm remembering correctly. Definitely worth it. I like reference books. I have lots and lots and lots of reference books. You can't even see the bookshelves over in the corner. Next is a treasury of North American folk tales, because tall tales are nifty and are easily adaptable for plot ideas. I'm excited. This was like $5. This is something that the boys might enjoy. They did do a tall tales unit, I think in like first grade or something, which is really weird. The way that their curriculum is set up here in Washington doesn't make any sense to me. But what do I know? I'm just a dinosaur after all. And apparently this was previously owned by someone named Philip Mendoza. But yeah, this is actually a hardcover, and it's in pretty decent shape, so I'm excited about that one. I used to love reading stuff like this all the time when I was a kid. You know, before we had satellite TV and internet and all those things. But in line with drawing and sketches, Human Anatomy for Artists. I have regular anatomy books, which honestly would have done just fine from massage school. And I don't think that there's any actual sketches on the pages in here, but whoever had this book previously, it is full of pages of tracing paper, which is honestly kind of cool. But this massive honkin' hardcover definitely would not be cheap on its own. Does this have... If this is actually like a school textbook, it probably doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't say what this would cost. But either way, this was $8, I believe. Super awesome, because I am working on learning to draw again, because I am tired of looking at subpar cover models that don't quite look the way my characters look in my brain, and I want them to look the way they're supposed to look. Not just kind of sort of like them. I want them to look like they're supposed to look. Part of my agenda for next year is relearning how to draw. I already have a drawing tablet. I have a chunk of my shelf over there that is devoted just to drawing books on top of all the other reference books that I have. So, I did manage to fit all of these things. Let me see if I can stack them. All of these things into one box. Or bag, rather. One bag. Because that was the rule. One bag. Only one. There can be only one. Oh my god, that one's heavy. So yeah. I managed to make it all fit in one bag. And it just barely fits on my lap. And that bag was super heavy, but you know what? I did it. And all of this came out to like $110-ish, which isn't too bad. I have been very good about not spending of late, especially considering every time I get back into content creation, there is something else that is trying to tell me that the best way to get people to watch my stuff is to consume, consume, consume. grab all the new trendy things, like all the stuff on BookTok. And I don't want to do that. That's not what I'm about. I'm trying to declutter my very small living space and consume with more intention. You know? All of that being said, hopefully after I get all of the cat interruptions edited out, it should be just under 20 minutes-ish. And I hope that you all are having a wonderful day. Let me know if you've had any good run-ins with some good books lately. And I will catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys.